You haven't seen that?
How? How have you not seen it?
Boba Fett takes on local government?
It is my favorite movie I've ever seen.
Dude, me too.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to the You Haven't Seen That podcast, where Tony and I review movies. Today, we watched
The Foreigner.
A humble businessman with a buried past seeks justice when his daughter is killed in an act of terrorism. A cat-and-mouse conflict ensues with the government official whose past may hold clues to the killer's identity. IMDb gives it 7.
That was too long.
That's too long.
That was too long.
Way too long of a description. And also, that movie's way cooler than that description.
Yeah, it should be like a foreigner seeks revenge for his daughter's murder.
Yeah, and also, like, you need to bring up the IRA.
Yeah, maybe.
Right? Like something about terrorism?
Yeah, maybe what I said, but then against the IRA.
There's nothing about terrorism in there.
No,
where
which
it's
is
like
the cool part of the movie.
All about terrorists.
So you said 7.
7.
Okay. Do you want to do the scores early?
Let's do it.
Okay. You want to go first?
Over.
Yeah.
For sure over.
Definitely over.
And also, isn't this the thing about movies? Is sometimes when I never heard of this movie, never knew anything about this movie.
Yep.
Came out in 2017, and I had very low expectations.
Yeah. This is a Netflix classic. This is one of the ones you see on Netflix.
Hidden gems.
Hidden gem.
Hidden gem.
For sure.
Yeah.
Where you see it's like, oh, it's Jackie Chan and Pierce Brosnan.
Uh-huh.
Like, okay, that's cool.
Right.
And then you get into it, and the movie, like, it starts kind of a little slow. Mm-hmm. Like, it spends a lot of time on, like, backstory and all that stuff.
Sure.
But then it, like, pops off.
It pays off.
Everything pays off.
Everything
That's what I
pays
wanted
off.
to bring up.
Uh-huh.
Is like everything that they do pays off in the end, which is what makes it good, in my opinion.
Right. Remember when he's at the police office and he's talking to the cop, the black dude?
Yeah.
And he's like, I want to know the killers. He's like, I can't help you. Here's some money. Still can't help you. And then Jackie Chan rises as an elderly man and kind of like waddles out.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a callback right there. They're going to show you how he's going to fuck some people up.
Yeah, right. He did the Yoda.
Yeah, he did.
He kind of cranes out, and then he's a fucking badass.
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie's fucking awesome.
It was
I
pretty
really
good.
liked that one the first time I saw it. That was the second time I saw it. Definitely would recommend that one. Super fun. It's a really good story, too.
Good story.
Lots of people stabbing each other in the back.
Yes. Metaphorically and literally, too.
Yeah, well, true. It's got a good kind of wrap-up. Like, it's got a good punctuation on the end of it.
Yeah.
Which is always fun and, like, satisfying.
So very satisfying kills at the end. Very satisfying kills.
It's a little bit gory almost. It's a little bit brutal.
Do they ice that chick at the end?
Yeah.
Oh, I loved it.
But like
awesome.
the guy gets a nail through his foot.
Brutal.
Pretty gross.
Yeah.
The explosion at the beginning.
A lot of explosions.
That lady's got her leg blown off. Pretty gross.
Chan ends up exploding the car, flips the car over.
Mm-hmm.
I wish they would have showed that. Maybe it wasn't in their budget to, off of all of the explosions, that was the one they had to cut. Because it was just an explosion sound, and then the car's, like, flipped over.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they were thinking, like, what happened.
Yeah, I guess.
Like, after all the other stuff
or maybe it's, like, from a directorial perspective.
Directorial?
Yep.
That's a new one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say maybe it's like the idea behind it was it throws you off just as much as it threw off Pierce Brosnan, right?
Brosnan, yeah.
Brosnan. It like throws you off, and you're like, oh shit, he's still blowing things up out there in the woods,
right?
Yeah,
because it happens kind of at a time where you don't expect it because they don't
Correct.
show any of the setup. And then it just pops off when he's having a conversation.
It was good.
Yeah, that's definitely a fun one. I think you made a good point where it's kind of exceeds expectations. Like, you kind of have low expectations. Like, Jackie Chan's like 150 years old.
Sure. I've seen Rush Hour.
Yeah, I saw a couple of the old James Bond movies. Pierce Brosnan's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't really recognize anybody else from this. And then it turns out being, like, pretty damn good.
Very good.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm impressed with that movie. It's definitely a fun one.
A lot of whiskey drinking from the Pierce.
Tons of it.
He loves drinking whiskey in that movie.
Every scene almost.
Every scene.
Yeah.
Every situation that he can drink a glass of whiskey.
He's got whiskey.
He's drinking a glass of whiskey.
Yeah.
Although, is it whiskey or is he drinking scotch? And if he's drinking...
It's definitely whiskey because he's Irish. Right?
Well, okay. Isn't whiskey like an American thing?
Oh, I thought Irish whiskey was like, is that just a American thing?
Oh, I don't think so. Jameson whiskey is an Irish thing because he wouldn't be drinking scotch because that would be him being a bad Irish.
Right.
Yeah. Do you know about like the IRA and like the history behind it?
Very little of it. Just that they were basically pissed that they were still under the control of the Queen.
Mm-hmm.
And that they showed that they didn't want to do that anymore.
Northern Ireland is in the UK,
yes.
but Southern Ireland is not. And that's still this case today.
I didn't know that. That's
yeah.
weird.
So it's like separated. So Ireland, it's like North Korea, South Korea, just not as bad.
Why would it be northern and southern, though?
Huh?
Because isn't it to the northern part of the UK? Or is it on the southern part?
Well, Ireland's an island.
Yeah, is it north or south of the UK?
It's northwest. No, northeast.
So how would the southern part not be part of it, but the northern part is?
Maybe it's vice versa?
I don't know. I'm just asking questions.
I don't know. But I know it's divided, even still today.
Okay.
And I think that, like, the divide happened with religion. I was watching Bill Maher the other day.
Jackie Chan mentions that in the in the scene where he's talking to Pierce Brosnan's nephew.
Uh-huh.
He said, "You're Catholic, but you fought for the British."
Yes.
So I think you may be right.
Right. So that's the divide. The Catholics and the Protestants hate each other.
Okay.
Like within Irish people, I think, too.
Okay.
And then because of that, terrorism ensued in the 70s.
Yeah, I think it was part of, like, they wanted to get their freedom from British rule, too.
Yeah.
I haven't done a ton of research on it, though, so I might be wrong. But I think it's a very cool... And maybe it's just me not watching movies that are in that realm. But I think it's a very cool, unique, interesting topic to cover in a movie like that.
Yeah.
Because usually in movies like that, it's like, we're going to rob a bank, or I stole your daughter.
Right.
Which technically he did. But
yeah,
it's like it's a cool movie that kind of explains the politics of the IRA versus the British government.
Mm-hmm.
But also, it has the storyline of Jackie Chan and his daughter.
Right.
And that's all really Jackie Chan cares about. He doesn't care about the IRA.
He doesn't care about the government.
He doesn't care about the
government. Parliament.
He doesn't care about that battle. He's not involved in that.
Nope.
And I think maybe that's part of what makes it kind of cool and interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, movies that like hop around like that are fun.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it happens too much.
Yes.
Right? And my initial thought goes to Star Wars. The prequels, the 1 through 3.
Okay.
They jump around so much.
Yeah.
So much.
Right.
To the point where you're like, this Darth Maul scene is technically only 15 minutes. But because you guys are doing what you're doing,
what you're saying.
It's way like I was watching Jedi the other weekend, and Luke spends the entire movie with Palpatine and Vader. The entire movie is Luke with Palpatine and Vader. Just like talking and like working through things.
Right.
And then it cuts back to action.
And there's major gaps.
Yeah. It's so weird.
I kind of like that, though, because you can, like, Lord of the Rings is like that. Lord of the Rings tells 3 different stories. It tells the story of Frodo and Sam taking the ring.
Yeah.
And then Aragorn and Legolas and Gimli.
Okay.
Going after Pippin and the other guy.
Damn, these are so many names that I don't know.
Sorry. So basically 2 hobbits get taken away by goblins.
Uh-huh.
And 2 hobbits take the ring.
Okay. Yep.
Frodo decides he needs to take the ring. Sam goes with him.
Okay.
2 hobbits get taken by orcs.
Uh-huh.
And the 3 main guys, Legolas, Aragorn, and Gimli, the dwarf, they go after the 2 dwarves that got captured.
Gotcha.
So it's kind of like 3 different timelines.
Right.
And then it brings it all together. I like movies that are like that more than linear movies.
But they're covering like time and like geographical movement. I mean, like a lot of time is spent in those cuts, right?
Yeah.
Luke is just chilling in this like building.
Yeah, I guess
with
that's
like
true.
a couple bad guys.
I guess
it
that's
just
true.
feels weird. It just felt weird.
I get that.
You know,
I do like that they have different stories. Like Luke is going against Vader and Palpatine, and Han is with Leia, and they're trying to take that little base.
Yeah.
Like, that's cool.
Yes.
I like that dynamic, but I do agree that it's like, they're like, every time it's like, I'm going to get you. And then they're like, no, you're not. Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah.
Overall, dude, I really enjoyed that movie.
What do you think, if you could, that you'd give that movie as a score?
Like out of 10?
Yeah, what's that worth?
It's a good question. I mean, I'd give it like an 8.
Yeah.
I think an 8 sounds
I think an 8
reasonable.
sounds good. Yeah, I was in the same ballpark.
And now, why don't I give it a 10? I mean,
it's not a 10.
Right. But my thought is like, why am I knocking 2 points off? I don't really know. Maybe.
I mean, it is a little slow in the beginning.
Yeah.
They're probably, I don't know. Like, what's the difference between this and the Sting?
I don't feel for, I mean, I feel for Jackie Chan. Sure. Right? Especially when Jackie Chan cried.
Oh, yeah.
Jackie Chan cried in front. Now, Jackie Chan can cry by himself in a movie, like solo. If it's just him,
no problem.
I'm like, Jackie Chan doing Jackie Chan, he needs to cry, right? But Jackie Chan does not cry in front of people.
Right.
He holds that shit in.
Yeah, honor.
But he couldn't.
Right.
Because he was so sad.
Yeah.
And that made me sad.
Yeah. Do you think, like, the difference between something like this and the Sting is that the Sting is a much more relatable, interesting topic than the Foreigner?
Yeah.
Because
I don't know.
the Sting really punches me right in the gut with the gambling and the bad people.
It hits home for you.
Yes,
because you're a degenerate.
Exactly.
Right. Yes.
But the Foreigner is a very good, maybe mostly surprisingly good movie.
That's like if I was a father.
Yeah.
Okay. And I watched Taken by Liam Neeson.
Oh, sure.
I would feel that. I'd be like,
you'd be like, I'm a badass too.
Yeah, I'm a badass, just like
even
Liam
though you're
Neeson.
not.
No.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think it's context.
Sure.
It depends on your own perspective.
Yeah. No, I mean that's a really good point. I would say somewhere in the 8 to 8.5 range for me.
It's very good.
It's really good.
It's shot really cool too. Like the cinematography is pushed up on Pierce's face quite a bit. Like when he's in those moments of like, oh shit.
Yeah.
He's stressed, and the camera's pressed like that in this stressful situation.
Mm-hmm.
He's a little bitch boy.
Yeah, but he's kind of also a badass.
He is.
Yeah.
Not to Jackie Chan though.
No, not to Jackie Chan. How'd you feel about the ultimate deceit of his nephew?
I thought the whole thing felt so uncomfortable.
It's such a good tie-in though, because then you figure out the wife's giving the fucking information,
right?
Like,
yeah.
Oh yeah, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Like before all that happens, you're like, okay, this is kind of gross.
Uh-huh.
It's like, is that his aunt,
right?
Or is that Pierce Brosnan's wife? like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
But then he walks up at the end.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, that movie's sweet.
Well, that's Irish people.
I kind of forgot
you know?
how much I liked that movie until we just watched it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
really?
a sweet one. Yeah, for
that's
sure.
Good.
For sure.
I dug it.
Yeah, fuck yeah, man.
Cool. So we watched The Foreigner.
Yeah, we watched The Foreigner. We're doing a new format. We'll give you a quick rundown. We're going to do 15 minutes on the movie for people that want to watch the movie review. And then we're going to come back. We don't have a set in stone name yet, but there's going to be a secondary podcast each week where we get on and kind of bullshit on the second half. So
yeah, it's
look
like
forward to that.
It's a 0.1 to the original.
New
episode.
intros, new camera angle, new structure. We're changing everything.
New beard. I got my beard cut.
You look good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Next week. No idea.
Oh yeah, fuck. We didn't figure that out. We were supposed to watch Young Frankenstein.
Correct.
And you can't get it online. So we're going to figure that out. Probably not by next week. But I'm going to get a copy of that.
Okay.
Because that's really depressing.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
I don't know why that's a thing right now.
It's just that movie, too.
Yeah. It's the first one in 48 that we haven't been able to find it.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
But it's like one I really wanted to see. So we're going to watch Young Frankenstein soon. We'll figure out next week. And then, yeah.
So we'll catch you on the other side.
Catch you on the other side.
Let me get a turkey sandwich, lettuce, tomato, bitch. My name Mac Miller. Who the fuck are you? Well, my crew too live, but I ain't Uncle Luke. And I ain't no hipster, girl, I can make your hipster from Pittsburgh, smoke papers over a Swiss shirt. Welcome to the Campbell Chronicles, looking out my monocle. I'm dodging obstacles, I gamble like the Bellagio. You cockroach, I'm heroin, cause everything I talk is dope. Type to leave it clean and fucking shiny, word of mop and glow. Tryna get a mansion, ain't nobody here gon' find my room. Money gon' be green, I guarantee you that my socks stay blue. So press play, I start from scratch and never use no template. The next day, these losers always going with what's trendy. My pen game is something these motherfuckers have never seen. All city champion, everybody is second string. No need to testify, for the best is I. And anybody in my way gon' be left to die. I'ma feed the world, you can put it on my tab. Run until my legs go numb, I don't plan on looking back.